everyone, welcome to today's video. If you guys are new here, my name's Liz, and for today's video I'm going to do some Easter slash springish DIYs. Wanted to throw some bunny decor in there, get my Easter stuff going. So if you guys want to see what I made, then let's jump into our first DIY. For this DIY, I'm going to take one of these shiplap bunny wood signs that you can get from Michael's. I can't remember the exact dimensions of this, but it is pretty big and makes for the perfect door hanger. It was $9.99, but it was also on sale. So all I'm really gonna do to this is just do a kind of really light dry brushing to it. I'm gonna take some of my Waverly chalk paint in white. I will dab it in the paint and then dab a lot of that excess paint off and go over each of those little shiplap sections. And I just think that this looks so cute. I didn't want to make it fully white. I wanted it to kind of have a rustic and distressed look to it, which is why I'm just distressing this. I also really wanted a lot of that natural wood to poke through. Now I also picked up a couple different greeneries and florals from Michael's. I got this bush with some small white flowers on it, and I just thought that these were so pretty. Very spring, and I just thought they were gorgeous. So I'm going to take 3 sprigs on each side, and I'm going to take some floral wire, and I'll just wrap those together so that they're nice and secure. And then I'll take 3 other sprigs and do the exact same thing to the other ones. And then I'm going to take some white florals that I also got from Michael's. A lot of their spring stuff is on sale. I think about 40% right now. And then I'm going to take those 2 greenery pieces, do some floral wire in the middle so that they are nice and secure together. I'll take some hot glue and just hot glue those right down in the middle. And then I'll take those white flowers and I put 3 on each side. I found this ribbon at Hobby Lobby and I thought this was so cute. It's got frayed edges and I just think it's super beautiful. So what I'm going to do is just make a bow with it. I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are the same size. I'm going to hot glue the ends together so that they make a loop, and I'll do that with both of those pieces. And then I'm going to take some more for my tails. I just kind of measure how long I want my tails to be, and then I'm going to tie them all together by taking the 2 loops, putting them right next to each other, and then the tails I will just fold over and put right on top of the bottom loop. I'm going to take some twine around the middle of those and tie them together. And then I just mess with the placement a little bit, try to mess with the loops to make them all even. And then I'm going to take that twine and wrap it around the middle several times and then tie a double knot in the back. I'll hot glue it down to the middle of my floral and greeneries, and then I will trim those tails on the twine, and that's all you got to do for this one. I think it turned out really cute, really simple and easy to do, nothing too complicated, but I just love this and I can't wait to hang it on my door in the springtime. For this DIY, I am going to take a Chalk Couture kit. This is the Carrot Patch kit. And then I'm also going to do a separate DIY to kind of add to this kit. I wanted to kind of spruce it up a little, kind of make it my own. But in this kit, you get everything that you need to make this DIY minus what I'm going to add to it. So you get your box, you get single paste, you get a squeegee and color trays, raffia, the transfers. There's a lot to it and you get it all, which I think is really, really awesome. Nothing that you have to go out and buy to do this. So I'm just going to take my first transfer and I'm going to fuzz it so it's not too sticky. I'm going to put it on the front of my crate. The kit comes with black and orange chalk paste, but I have my own chalk paste and I wanted to do a different color, so I used the chalk paste in sage. I'm just going to put that all over the front of my transfer and then remove my transfer and Oh, every single time I take a transfer off, it just looks so good. And then I'm also going to take the transfers, 5 cents and bunny bait, add them to those small round tags that they have, and I just used the black chalk paste to do this as well. If you're interested in this specific kit, I'll link it down below. They have lots of other kits that I think are really fun, so check those out if you'd like, but I just think it's tons of fun. So this kit comes with this material that you're going to transfer on for your carrots. I actually found that it was easier to lay the transfer on the back and then put the material on top. It just was an easier process. You just want to make sure that it's nice and stuck down, that there are no bubbles or anything. I'm going to take my orange peel chalk paste and just chalk right over the transfer. It comes with 5 of the material carrots, so you just do this 5 times. Pick which patterns that you want the most of. I did the buffalo check or gingham print. I did 3 of those and then 2 of the florals. I just think that they're so cute. And then it comes with this adhesive. You're going to put that on one corner of your carrot on the back side. And then I just started rolling it up at the bottom, just twisting it in. And then I just adhered the adhesive to the other side of my carrot, and you get this nice little carrot shape. It also comes with a bag of polyfill, and I just took some of that and put it inside of my carrots. Tried to make them full, but not too full. I didn't want to run out of polyfill at the end. So a lot of my carrots were a little slim at first and then got bigger as I went on. So all you're going to do is fill your carrot with polyfill. It comes with these small little rubber bands that you are going to tie the top of your carrots with. Then you have your green raffia you're going to stick right in the top of your carrot. And then it comes with twine. I just tied that around the top of my carrot, added my tag to 2 of my carrots, and then tied those on there. With the other carrots that didn't have tags, I just tied a bow. And you're just going to repeat those steps for all 5 carrots. Now, to go along with this DIY, I'm going to take some Waverly chalk paint and elephant, add it to a cup, add some baking soda to a cup. You probably know where I'm going with this, but I'm going to mix that concoction together. I'm going to take these craft bunnies from the Dollar Tree. They're just foam bunnies. I'm going to take 3 of them. I just put a little skewer at the bottom of each of them so they were easier to paint and easier to dry. And I gave each of these 1 good coat of paint and baking soda. I wanted these to look kind of more cement-like than just painted. So I just stuck them in a bigger foam piece and let them dry for a couple of hours. So once I've got all my carrots done and my bunnies are dry, I'm going to take some Spanish moss, put it in the bottom of my crate, add my carrots to the crate. I just stuck them in there kind of randomly. And then I'll take my bunnies with the toothpick still attached, and I will stick those down in there as well. And that's all you gotta do for this DIY. Super, super easy. I love the added bunnies to this project. I just think it's really cute. And that is it. If you are ever interested in COUTURE, I always have a link in my description box. For this DIY, I'm going to take one of Dollar Tree's little wooden bunnies. I'm going to take some of this flower garden scrapbook paper that you can actually purchase off of my website. I'll link my website in the description box below. Just go to paper and you can find it there. I'm going to take this paper that I just thought was really cute, very springy. I love the colors of it. I'm going to trace that bunny out. And this was a little difficult because you've got that little ridge on the top of the bunny, so you can't, trace it perfectly on that side. You have to trace on the back side. I added some glue to the front and then added my bunny. And then I just went around with an X-Acto knife to get all the excess paper that was on it. Since when you trace it, it's going to be a lot bigger than the front of your bunny, if that makes sense. So I just went around with my X-Acto knife, got the excess off, and then to clean it up a little bit, I just took some sandpaper and went around the edges and made it look all nice and clean. And this is what it will look like when you're done. I kept the raw edge because I just liked those colors together. It looked good. Now I'm going to take this sign also from the Dollar Tree. It has a little frame stand on the back, which is perfect. I'm going to remove that whisk piece from it, and I'm going to take some sandpaper and sand it down as much to get all the excess glue off. I'm going to take my Dixie Belle paint in Spanish moss and give this one good coat. That's the thing. I get a lot of questions about why I use chalk paint and not acrylic paint. Chalk paint dries faster and it has way more coverage. So that is why I love using chalk paint for my DIYs. So I just give this, like I said, one good coat. And then I'm going to go back in with a ruler and I'm going to make some faux shiplap lines on this. I'm just taking a black pencil and just using my ruler as a guide in between each of those lines. Once I have all those lines drawn on there, I'm also going to take a white pencil and go over those lines. I just wanted a little bit of different dimension, kind of make it look a little bit more rustic. So I just overlap those lines, and then to go a next step further, I'm going to take a chip brush from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take some white Waverly chalk paint and I'm going to dry brush over this entire sign. Now I'm going to take these alphabet tiles. I got these from Michael's and I'm going to use them to spell out the word Easter. I'll glue those down in a second, but I'm going to also take some raffia. I'm going to do this like I would make a twine bow. So I'm going to wrap it around my index finger and my thumb several times, and then I'm going to take an excess piece of raffia and tie it in the middle, just making a small bow. Now I also have this ribbon. I don't know if you'd call it ribbon or what exactly it is, but I thought this was really cute. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's this pink kind of champagne-y ribbon with leaves. I wish I knew the exact name of it, but I just did the exact same thing. Wrapped it around my fingers a couple times, tied a knot in the middle with some excess raffia. I did some more loops around the middle with the raffia too, just to kind of make the middle look bigger, if that makes sense. Kind of display that raffia a little bit more. Tied a double knot in the back, and then I did hot glue this bow to the raffia bow. Now I'm just going to hot glue everything down. I'm going to take my bunny, hot glue that down to my sign. I'll take my bows, hot glue that right underneath the bunny. And then for the tile letters, I didn't use hot glue. I used some super glue so it would lay flatter on my piece. And I just super glued all of my letters down, kind of going in a crooked direction each way. And that's it for this DIY. Super, super cute, really easy, and I think it's fun for Easter. For this DIY, I'm going to take one of these Target Dollar Spot signs that I actually think I picked up in the fall and it's been sitting in my stash, but you can find similar things like this pretty much all the time at Target Dollar Spot. I'm also going to take some of my scrapbook paper that you can get off of my website. This is a double-sided piece and I thought the florals for this for Easter were really cute. So what I'm going to do is stick that down in my sign, kind of trace out where I need to cut and cut that scrapbook paper out. To glue it to my sign, I'm going to use a mixture of some glue stick and then some Mod Podge for all the corners because I want to make sure that all the corners are nice and stuck down there. So I just went with a small paintbrush and some Mod Podge and just went in all those corners, stuck my paper in. Now I'm going to go in with a COUTURE transfer and I want to make sure that it doesn't stick too much to my paper. So I'm going to take some wax on a cloth and just rub it all over my paper. And I just did a little bit to make sure that I wasn't putting too much and having my paper wrinkle at all. So I just did a very little bit at a time. So I'm going to use this transfer called Hoppy Easter. Look how cute that is. I think it's so much fun. So I just cut that out. Now I did do this once before and I used a different color. I used a green color and it just blended way too much in. So I washed my transfer, put a new piece of paper down on my sign and then grabbed some black chalk paste And with my squeegee, I went over the words, and this looked so much better. You could actually see the words versus the words completely blending into the background. So I did the black. So I did this DIY twice, pretty much, which is always annoying, but it turned out so much better the second time. So I just slowly peeled back my transfer. It's a little stickier just because it's on paper, but you can transfer on paper. Just make sure you're putting some wax down first. Now I'm going to take a mixture of these 3 ribbons, and I'm going to also take some raffia. I'm going to make another bow, wrapping it around my fingers several times, taking some excess and tying a knot in the very middle to make a bow. For this bow, I am going to cut the ends though, so it doesn't have, you know, the loops on the ends. I'm going to cut those up so they're all frayed at the ends. And then I'll just give it a little trim on the ends to make them all nice and even. Now for the other ribbons, I'm going to measure out how big I want them to be, and I'm going to cut 2 of each ribbon, the exact same size, and I just use the first ribbons I cut kind of as a guide for the rest of the ribbons. Now I just start assembling my little bow. I'm going to take the bigger pink ribbon on the bottom. I just add a little bit of hot glue in the middle and make a cross with those 2. And then I just start layering my other ribbons on top of it. I'm going to go in with my Dollar Tree lace ribbon on top of that, make another cross with it, add some hot glue, and then lastly the Hobby Lobby leaf ribbon. I'm going to do the same thing, add it in a cross on top of that, and then I will just hot glue that down to the top corner of my sign, and then add the raffia bow on top. That's all you got to do for this DIY. Really, really easy, and I love the way this one turned out. For this DIY, I'm going to take these 2 big foam bunnies that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I just wanted to do a small makeover, spruce them up a little bit. So I'm going to take some Waverly chalk paint and celery, and you guessed it, some more baking soda. I'm going to put that in there, mix it all up. This essentially gives your pieces a more ceramic or cement-like look, adds more texture to them. So that is what I'm going to do for my bunnies. I'm going to paint these in this concoction. And I did do about 3 coats. So I did 1 coat fully all over the bunny. My second coat was full all over the bunny. And for the third coat, I didn't wait completely for the second coat to dry. I took my brush and I just kind of stippled all over it. So I put my paintbrush in some paint and then kind of doing a dabbing up and down motion all over the bunnies. This really gave it some more texture to it, made it look more kind of ceramic or cement-like, and I love the outcome of it. I just think it looks really pretty. I think it looks really high-end. You'd have no idea that these were foam unless you picked them up or looked on the bottom, because I decided not to paint the bottom apparently. But I think these were so much fun, really cute to add to any shelf. And this one was super easy, only cost me $2. And that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your favorite project was, your favorite, in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.